there's a multitude of plastics out there on the market. And, you know, typically what I like to do is kind of like what a lot of the trout guys do. I like to match the hatch. I like to throw what I think those fish are eating. And typically in streams, your smallmouth are eating a lot of crayfish. They're eating, you know, some minnows and things, and they're eating some other invertebrates that are in there. They're eating things like hellgrammites. And when I try to match my soft plastic to what I'm fishing, I kind of try to keep that in mind with colors and things. I steer more towards the natural colors when I'm choosing my plastics. A classic is a 4-inch mini lizard Texas rigged on a small worm hook, and use of any kind of watermelon, green pumpkin, and browns, any kind of that, like your a camo or something like that, or even a black is good. Really good little bait, catches a lot of stream fish. Another plastic that I like is Senko. I really like the 3-inch Senkos. You can hook them on a jig head. I like a 16th ounce jig head. I've got some little weedless long shank heads that I rig them on, and it's kind of like a Ned rig, which those are great as well. Those work really well. And with the Senkos, you have some versatility there. You can do the jig head, or you can also, one of my favorites is Wacky rig them, hook them right in the middle. And what that's going to imitate, in my mind, it's going to imitate a couple things. It can imitate a crawfish. You know, when you see them dart away, and they kind of get up in the water column, and when they kind of fall back down, they kind of float back down side to side. The same way, another thing that's going to look like when you're snapping that Wacky rig, fish could think it was a crayfish, kind of trying to get away from them, and then when you stop it and let it kind of fall back down, they're going to hammer it. Another thing that's going to look like is a hellgrammite. And if you don't know what a hellgrammite is, it's actually a dobson fly larva. You can look those guys up, and they're black. Typically, they're more of a black color. And I really like a 3-inch black Senko because I feel like that imitates a hellgrammite really well. And there's nothing that swims in the river you're fishing in that will not eat a hellgrammite. And I will guarantee you that. Everything in there will eat these things. And that is absolutely one of my favorite soft plastics to throw for them. And then you can get into some of the Flukes, the Zoom Super Fluke Juniors. They're great. I like those. They're just a standard fluke. You can rig them, you can nose hook them with a small little number 1 or number 1/0 drop shot hook, and get great action, increases your hookup ratio. Great bait. You can also rig those on a light jig head. I've had success doing that. If you're fishing in a deep current situation to help get that fluke down where you can snap it up off the bottom. It looks like a minnow trying to get away. Another soft plastic that I like is any type of small crawfish imitator. You've got some of the gulp craws, some of the different things out there that some of those Jean LaRue salt craws, some of the little bitty ones, you can put them down, you can Texas rig them, you can put them on a jig head. And man, smallmouth will eat them. Smallmouth love crayfish. So when you're picking your soft plastics, my advice would be to stay natural. Kind of think about, all right, you know, when you look at crayfish and different things in the water, think about what colors they are. Take that route. You want this to look as natural as possible in my mind. And just stick natural and stick with something that's going to look like something you know is in the stream that those fish are going to eat. And just match the hatch, per se.